What's going on YouTube? It's Mr. Ferguson here once again. Thank you guys for coming back for another video here in Central North Carolina, guys. It is, wow, we're in the 50s out here. I looked at my phone before coming out here to record this video. It's about 50 degrees outside. It feels so much like Beckley, West Virginia, where I was born. And when we would go up there and play in those golf tournaments, it just feels amazing out here. Fall is in the air. That overseeding feeling is in the air. So we're going to talk a little bit about that here in a second. But thank you so much for tuning in. We've got lots of videos that we've done here recently. We've been talking about running a dethatcher in our lawn. We've talked about getting up the dead, deleting the dead. You can check all those videos out. We've talked about, you know, before that, drought conditions and all the things that we've shared about how we're going to go about overseeding. We're going to get more into how you overseed your lawn. When do you take that step and say, today's the day I'm going to do it? Does it matter? We're going to talk about that. But before we get into that, I did get that one of my purchases, one of them didn't show up. It was supposed to, and it got delayed. One of them actually came. And so I want to show you the one that came, and I got a lot of good comments on this. So let me show you that real fast. Then we're going to talk about when's the proper time to overseed your lawn. So let's look at the product first. So it came, guys, and based on all your comments, you told me, Mr. Ferguson, this is going to be one of the best purchases that I've ever made and one of the best purchases you ever made. And I 100% believe you. Let me set my delicious, now getting lukewarm monster down. This is the Landzie. L-A-N-D-Z-I-E. As I told you in the video, I'm keeping the box. Somebody said, you know what, keep that box, Mr. Ferguson. You can store it in your shed or your garage more easily. That's a great idea, so I'm going to do that when I'm done. This is it. I've not undone the last zip tie right here, but as you can see, it was very simple to install, and it's very light. If I can pick it up like this, I just basically had to put these two bolts, one right here, attach these to the actual unit right here. I haven't even unlatched it. There's no purpose, and there's not much else to see. But once you attach this bar on the back side, you just press the button and the handle goes up. You can adjust the handle to how tall you are. That's pretty cool. And then when you're going to store it, you can take these little plastic caps, put it back into, well, this is probably the wrong one here. This is probably the one. Put your plastic caps in here so that you don't get dirt and debris and spider webs and all that in there. So that caps off, and you can store it in the box if you want to, wash it off, all that good stuff. So I'm excited to use this. I'm excited to try it out. I am not, with only buying 4, let me put this back on there. There we go. Put on the tall setting there. With only buying 4 bales, one of them being right behind the camera here, 4 bales of the peat moss, I am not going to do the entire lawn. Clearly that is nowhere near enough. However, as you rightly mentioned, if you're like me, you've never used one of these. Number one, I figure it's going to come out fast, and I need to position it in the area to where as soon as I load it up, I'm going to go, and there's no turning it off, right? As soon as you go, you're going to go. So I need to think about that before you put it down. But definitely, like on this area behind the camera that always stresses out, that I can see right here, there's dead spots. We'll definitely be putting one of the bags in this area over here, and then obviously the bank and the mailbox area, will definitely get some peat moss there, and then maybe some areas back here. I think I got plenty for the dead areas that we need to seed. So I just wanted to show you that it did come. It is a very, I can just giving you my initial review on this for anybody interested. It is very well built. The welds look really nice. It's painted well. It's not like that ratchety metal that's kind of sharp, and you know, the angle iron that's really sharp. It's rounded off. It is very nice. It's painted well. The grips are on, and the grips feel good. But will it spread the peat moss correctly? We'll see that, the latches and all that. But initially putting it together, very easy to put together. It was one of the more expensive ones. I don't know about the cheaper one. There is one cheaper for like $80-something, 90 with taxes probably, on Amazon. I'll put that, the last video had that link. I'll put it in the link below if you're interested, because we still got time depending on your location before we start spreading it. But again, we talked about the straw and all that. I like this. I need to put down compost in certain areas. This is going to help me achieve that goal and that task as well. So just wanted to show you that real quick. So let me move the camera back out of the sun, and let's talk a little bit about when do we start our overseeding process. So, when do we need to start overseeding? Well, Mr. Alan Hain has put out a free guide, and I'm going to link that below in the description. Just click the more button below this video after you hit like, because we want you to hit like, man. After you hit like, hit the more button, and you'll see all of the links to the things I've got there. But you should see at the top the Alan Hain overseeding guide or something like that. Click on that, and it should drop it to your phone. But one of the main things, and we kind of hit this maybe a little bit last time when we were talking. I'm going to show you my lawn briefly in a second because I went low in the lawn. That's the last thing I want to show you. But when do we need to decide to overseed? And I go, and Alan recommends, and that's what I recommend, is going off soil temperatures. Again, everybody is going to be different in this. If you're living in Michigan, your go time for when you want to overseed and your window is going to be slightly different than someone in northern South Carolina. Two totally different parts of the United States of America with two totally different soil temps at the same day, right? We're way further north up in Michigan, where we're way further south in South Carolina. So we know that probably up in Michigan, it's going to get probably a little bit cooler there to go than it will in North Carolina. I don't know. I don't really know what the trends are, but I know here in North Carolina, typically, like this morning, I looked at my soil temperatures. You can download the Yard Mastery app. It will tell you what your soil temperature is, not your outside air temperature. The outside air temperature is in the 50s. It feels wonderful out here. It actually feels like it's warming up here in the sun to the 60s. But our soil temperatures are right around 73. That's according to the Yard Mastery app. You can use the Greencast website as well to look up projections about this time of year. Historically, what are the soil temps? It gives you a general idea of that. But your soil temperatures are a good indication of when you should be thinking, planning, renting your aerator, picking your day, taking a day off work or choosing a Saturday or a weekend that you want to get the job done. You have a wide window, and Alan puts that in the guide here. I might put, if I've not already put it on the screen, I'll put one of the slides here. Since it is a free guide, he's released it to the public. It's not behind a paywall or anything like that. It's for anybody that wants to use it, so you have nothing to lose. But he gives us the window here of between 70 degrees down to, I believe, 55 degrees. You have a window of seeding, and so it's a large window depending on how drastically we change. Now, there's been many years when I've done overseeding and we begin around 70 degrees and then we have a warming trend into the 90s and we trend up until 75 soil temps or whatever. Don't freak out. It's not the end of the world. Every single year that I've overseeded, as long as you take the proper steps, it works out fine. There's been times we've had to repair when we've had a washout, where we've had in the middle of my lawn, we've had a season where it just washes everything just down. Because we're cutting the grass so short, which I'm going to show you my lawn here in a second, that when we're cutting our grass so short, it can, we have heavy torrential rain, downpours, it can wash everything and we can have washouts and we may have to repair areas. That is something that we do have to watch. So we want to be mindful of our soil temperatures. We want to be mindful of the rain. Right now, I feel like it's a good time for me because number one, we're at a 73 degree soil temperature. We're not in the 70, but the 55, so I'm a little bit high. But when I'm looking at the 14-day outlook on my phone, the best indicator that I can have for my area, it looks like we're going to go up for a couple days, 3 to maybe 4 days. We might hit 90s, lows in the mid 70s to lower 70s, and then we're going to trend all the way back down to the 80s and with rain. So obviously some of that rain is great for the seed to keep it moist and it's free rain and it's Jesus rain and it's what the seed needs to germinate. But hopefully by that time some of it's already popped and that rain's just going to increase it. All that starter fert we put down is going to get washed in really good, and it's going to help. And our soil temps are going to continue trending down. Also keep in mind, you've got lawn care companies right now. They're doing seeding for many, many, many different lawns. I mean, hundreds. Who knows how many lawns True Greens does and GCI Turf and all these other companies. They're not waiting until 70 degrees to do their seeding. It depends on, they're doing it, and guess what? I guarantee you they're being successful. They're running through, they're seeding, they're throwing down fertilizer, they're putting down maybe the miso or tenacity. I don't know if they even offer that kind of service with the company, but they're doing that and they're running to the next lawn. They're punching holes, they're aerating, and they're moving on. They've got too many homes to do, and so they're rolling with it. So consider that. Consider the soil temperature, but it's not a set in stone like it's 71 degrees soil temperature, Mr. Ferguson. What in the world are you doing? You shouldn't be overseeding. No. It's not that serious. It's a guide. It's something that you can reference to say, okay, it looks like, looking at the outlook of the temperature, it looks like we're trending down. We're not trending up to 100. We're trending up and then we're coming back down. You're going to have heat waves. You're going to have lows, but it looks like the heat may come back, but I feel very comfortable seeding now. And in worst case scenario, we can always do it again because we have until around the 58, 55 degree soil temp mark if we need to make any corrections. And if we see patchy areas where we did have a washout, we can simply reseed. It's not that big of a deal. So I wanted to mention that. Also, and one of the reasons that Alan says the 70 and lower degree soil temperatures, why does he say that, Mr. Ferguson? Well, in the guide, if you read it, if you don't, I just want to briefly hit this, is because of competing weeds. When we're above 70, you get all these summer weeds that is going to benefit from the moisture we're going to be putting down in the lawn when we put our seed down, right? We want to keep the seed moist. So when we're constantly watering that seed, we're watering everything else that's in the soil. And so crabgrass, little weeds and stuff can compete, and that's why the tenacity comes into play. That's why I'm putting it down, is with RGS, I'm putting down tenacity, so it will suppress some of those weeds. It will actually kill some of those weeds, and tenacity acts as a pre-emergent and a post-emergent. It's a double agent. It will not only kill existing weeds that are in my lawn right now, but it will prevent weeds as the seed begins to grow. And that's one of the main things he says, is if you're not using miso, that's fine. It's not a mandatory thing, but when you begin to water that seed, not only is the grass going to begin to grow, but the weeds are going to begin to grow as well. So just keep that in mind. Use that free guide down below. It's free for anyone. Download it, use it, and hopefully it will help you in your seeding whenever your big day may come here in the fall of 2024. So let me show you what I did yesterday in preparation for probably Saturday. If I don't start today, I'm going to do it Saturday. Friday we have a church event, but let me show you what I did yesterday before church man, it made my lawn look a little bit different. So before we go, I wanted to show you that I've mowed low. I went lower than I've been in a while. So this is cut at 2.5-ish inches. It's the first step on my Honda below 3 inches. I don't know if I've ever went below 3 inches in this lawn, but it is noticeably lower, and it obviously lowers the taller existing grass for our patches like this. And because again, if you're aerating, you want to lower your grass so that when you plant new grass seed, clearly you've got a 2-3 inch head start on the existing grass from the baby seed that's going to be popping up. And then when you're adding all the water, the existing grass is growing from that before the germination of the new seed. So again, another reason why you want to cut low. But for this purpose, the main purpose is I'm probably, since my rake hasn't come yet, I may just run the dethatcher through here once or twice and cut and grab some of this dead grass I was talking about last video. You can see I don't really want this. You can see when I peel that back and just scrape that, you see all of that quote thatch or dead turf that was in my lawn before. I don't really want that there. I want that seed hitting the ground, hitting the soil right here, and then put some peat moss on top. So as you see, if I just clean this up with my hand, using that groundskeeper or version of the groundskeeper rake would be perfect for an area like this. But being it's not here yet, I may just run the machine over it and grab stuff like this. Now, is this the end of the world? If your seed sets on top of this, is it 100% guaranteed not to germinate? I can't say that that's true. I don't want to take the risk. I don't want to have to reseed an area because I didn't take the time to do it properly. Mentally, I want to know when I lay my head down at night after my quote big day of seeding that I did everything to allow seed is hitting soil. It's covered in peat moss. I've put down some fertilizer to encourage the growth as well. And now I just need to water and wait and let God do its thing. And it's going to sprout, and we're going to have baby grass, and slowly these dead areas are going to become green. And that is the fun part, to come back, film, and we get to watch the new grass come to life. This area down here is super thin. I didn't mention this before, but I am going to just maybe run the dethatcher down there there, gather up what the leaves, the sticks that's down there, throw it in the woods, and I'm going to plant the new GCI blend down here. I'm not doing Jonathan Green this time. The Jonathan Green that's there will obviously stay in place, but I'm going to do full 100% GCI turf seed everywhere. Let's see how it does. It's a new blend. Some of it may do better in the shade than the first original blend, so we'll find out. Same thing right here. I'm going to run it right in this area. And then we're coming back into the sun. Let me get a better angle, but I want to run the Earthwise dethatcher in an area like this as well. Get up some of this stuff, get up some of this dead area so that I make sure my turf hits the ground. And then this will be an area where I definitely run that a little bit of the peat moss evenly to cover it. And this will be one of the areas that'll probably germinate first. Believe it or not, when you have peat moss, that's what I have seen, is it germinates before the other areas. We're going to oversee the entire lawn, but the areas that are really exposed and bare and open, that's where I want to focus on my peat moss. It looks like a weed lawn, in my neighborhood, believe it or not, because I've never cut it at 2-something inches off the ground before. So it's somewhere between 2.75 and 2.5 inches tall. Here I did do this one off camera last time, and I even took my backpack blower and blew out some of the dead that maybe was loosened up by the machine. And here, this is a perfect example. This is what we want the Earthwise to do. It took all the dead out of this one spot, and now we have exposed dirt here. Now we want to go ahead and seed it, and that's what we're going to do, and then we want to cover this with peat moss. So again, this section has gotten finished, as well as same thing over here. Took my backpack sprayer or backpack blower and blew out all the dead, got it out, and kind of raked that up. So front yard, same thing. It just looks like it's full of weeds based on how short I've cut it. There you can see all my peat moss in the front ready to go. So I'm going to work on this possibly today. I'm definitely going to do the dethatching today as I'm able to, and run it in these little areas and make sure I clean them up. And then once I feel like I've gotten all the areas cleaned up from all the dead grass, I feel confident, I'm good, then we may look at turning around and I'll start filming. I'm just letting you know I'm going to be doing that today, because I should have already done it. But things like this, it bothers me, clumps of dead. I don't want that to prohibit any seed from germinating. So we'll clean this up, and then we'll come back, we'll begin to film and show you, hey, I'm just going to throw the seed out with my Earthway spreader that's down there. And then we're going to throw in our starter fert. We're going to spread that. Then we're going to turn around and we're going to do a backpack spray with Tenacity and RGS. We're going to spray that evenly amongst the whole yard, distribute that all out, and then it's a matter of peat mossing it and water. Water being the most important. We want to keep it moist. It finally gotten bit with the excited bug. I've not been excited until about now to really oversee this. And plus, another reason that I'm going ahead a little bit higher than the 70-degree soil temp mark is because of the project lawn. I want to get this going, get this started, get this underway, and then we can focus more on the project lawn, which is, I want to totally focus on the project lawn. So from Central North Carolina, God bless you guys. Veterans, answer any comments in the comment section that I may miss. Help out your brother, help out your sister, but I try to look at your comments and comment the best I can. But things are busy here, so God bless you guys. I hope you've enjoyed the video. Give it a thumbs up, and we'll see you next time with another lawn care video from Central NC. God bless you. See you next time.